Hello students, I am Piali Nag, your biology teacher, and I welcome you all to the virtual classes, and I will be continuing with the next chapter of your biology. I hope you all are well and safe at your home. Okay, so let's get started. My last video, we have already gone through what was actually the hereditary material. Through the Griffiths experiment, it is not a confirmed proof that it is DNA itself is a genetic material. Then Hershey and Chase carried out an experiment on bacteriophages, which finally confirmed that DNA is the genetic material which is being passed on from one generation to another. Okay, now before we start with the experiment, what actually are bacteriophages? These are the bacterial viruses or the viruses that infect bacteria. Okay, now bacteriophages usually have a very simple structure, an outer protein coat and an inner DNA molecule. You have already gone through the details of the bacteriophages in class 11. How does the bacteriophage work? The bacteriophage actually attaches itself to the bacterial cell and then injects its genetic material into the bacterial cell, while the bacterial cell treats the viral genetic material as its own. Right? So the viral DNA replicates using the protein synthesis machinery of the bacterial cell. Subsequently, what happens? The outer protein coats are made and the number of virus particles are replicated. This is how a virus actually replicates inside its host organism, not only in case of bacteria but also in case of any organism which it infects. Okay, now coming back to the experiment which is being carried out by Hershey and Chase, they used bacteriophage T2 for their experiment. Okay, they actually worked to discover whether it was the protein or the DNA from the viruses that entered the bacteria. Now, what is the characteristics of this T2? It actually attacks bacteria E. coli. Why they used E. coli? Because E. coli can reproduce itself within 20 minutes. So, we can get the results too early. Okay, so E. coli is also easily found and it is a colon bacteria. Now, what were the preparations made in the experiment of Hershey and Chase? Firstly, they made two different preparations of the T2 phages. One was containing S35 in the protein coat and the other containing P32 in the DNA molecule. Okay. Now, why S35 and P32? Obviously it is according to the why. Firstly we need to know why S and P, why it was only sulfur and phosphorus was selected. Phosphorus is actually a characteristic property of DNA that we have already known through the structure of the DNA molecule, and sulfur is a characteristic property of protein which was so these two components were actually radioactivated. This radioactivity was had no other intention rather than it being acting as a marker, so that we can understand what is being passed on to the next generation. Okay, now since protein coat of the virus contain only sulfur and not the phosphorus, and the DNA contains phosphorus, not the sulfur, the T2 phages were radio labeled. That's why we are using S35 or P32. Now, the radioactive phages were incorporated and made to infect a culture of a non-radioactive E. coli, where every E. coli had a normal composition of phosphorus and sulfur. That means protein and DNA. Okay. Now, after some time, it was found that the T2 phages to get attached and injected the DNA, but before they could multiply and form new phages, the E. coli were agitated. What does agitator mean? Agitator is shaking in at a high speed. Okay, the work function of the agitator is shaking at a high speed. Why they need to shake this solution? It loosened and detached the virus protein coats from the surface of the bacteria. This is the main function of the agitator used by Hershey and Chase experiment. Now, the whole mixture consisting of the viral coats and infected bacteria was put in a high speed centrifuge. Centrifuge is a device which actually helps in mixing of two components which cannot be mixed in normal conditions. Okay, and what was its effect? The infected bacterial cells settled at the bottom of the tube. The lighter viral coats remained suspended in the supernatant fluid. The centrifuge is actually also used to separate two components on the basis of their density. Since it is rotated at a very high speed, so it is used to separate two components on the basis of its density. The component, if two fluids are being mixed and it cannot be separated by other means, it is usually separated by the centrifuge by rotating it at a very high speed. Okay, now what were the results of this experiment? The radioactive sulfur, that means the S35, was actually confined to the supernatant which contained the empty viral protein coats, and the radioactive phosphorus, that was the P32, was found inside the infected bacterial cells that settled at the bottom of the tube. Okay, the sulfur was not found inside the bacterial cells. Okay, so what did the scientists, that means Hershey and Chase, conclude from this experiment? That the bacteria that were infected with virus that had radioactive proteins were not radioactive, which indicated that the protein did not enter the bacteria from the virus. So, from this experiment, it is already clear that the DNA entered the bacterial cell. Now, DNA alone is responsible for the synthesis of new viruses, right, inside the bacterial cells. So, DNA and not the protein is the hereditary material. But later it was seen that some viruses have RNA as a genetic material as well. We have already gone through the structural differences between DNA and RNA. Moreover, the RNA is also considered as a genetic material, but there are few differences more. That is, DNA is, in 99% cases, DNA is mostly double-stranded, but RNA is single-stranded. Since DNA is double-stranded, the DNA is much more stable, while RNA is much more unstable. Okay, it always have a tendency to react since it is single-stranded. The nitrogenous bases of the RNA are always ready to react with some or the other strand to gain its stability. Right now, RNA, in case of viruses, most of the viruses, RNA is considered as the genetic material. Okay, please go through the diagram of this of the Griffiths experiment as well as the Hershey-Chase experiment, both of them. Okay, now coming to the criteria for a molecule to be a genetic material. Okay, what are the main criteria? Now, to be a genetic material, there are few that it can replicate easily. That means it can produce its copy. Okay, it should be chemically and structurally stable, and it should provide the scope for slow changes. That means it should accept the scope of the mutations which have been going on continuously when a hereditary material is being passed on from one generation to another. And one more, that it should be able to express itself in the form of Mendelian characters, what are the Mendelian characters which you have already gone through in the previous chapter. So according to you, which is a better genetic material, DNA or the RNA? Obviously, if you go through for stability, DNA is a better genetic material than RNA, but in case of reactivity, RNA is also a good genetic material. Okay, now we have to go through the RNA, that okay, now though DNA and RNA are both equally important as a genetic material. Okay, so we have already gone through the details of the RNA as well. We have also gone through the details in detail, the structure of DNA and also the detailed structure of RNA. Okay, we will continue with the next chapter, with this chapter in my next video. Thank you.